Stump Station episode 25, and this is Unfiltered, where we find hidden talent in Saudi Arabia that you may not know about, but is truly having a massive impact in Saudi Arabia. And today we're with Hannah, so welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm really appreciative for you having me.
And look, we need to elephant in the room, two things. One, this is our second take. We messed up massively, which is normal, it's fine, we're in a natural place. And two, is that I planned a whole podcast to speak with a Saudi woman, finding out you're not Saudi.
Exactly. I'm actually American, but I've been living in Saudi for the last 10 years, and my parents are Czech by ethnicity.
And imagine this, like the way you are as a person, the way you hold yourself has all of this Arab culture in you naturally. And I'm thinking, right, well, you're an incredible Saudi woman doing great things. Let's get her on and hear your story.
I wish.
And you're not, but you have been in the country 10 years.
Yes, I have. I came in actually April 2015, which was even before the vision started. And I always like to say I'm the OG of Saudi Arabia. So before it was cool to be here as an expat female, when it was actually very difficult to be here as an expat female, I was able to come and start a significant portion of my career here. So I came as a 23-year-old, looking for adventure and to learn more about the culture, and stayed forever and inshallah forever after this.
Honestly, it's amazing. And for anyone that doesn't even know you, who are you from like the beginning?
Sure. So yeah, I'm Hannah Namik. I'm born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio, in a small, tiny town where there was no diversity whatsoever. And I spent my years growing up there, went to college, and in college I converted to Islam, and just really fell in love with not only Muslim Islamic traditions, but also the values and the culture that surround it as well. Specifically for Saudi, when I moved to Los Angeles, I made 1 million Saudi friends, and they became like my sisters. So after I took my Shahada and moved to Los Angeles, I became so close with them that they asked me what I'm going to do when they leave and move back to Saudi after they finish their degrees. And I said, I don't know. I assume I'm going to stay here and work in my real estate career. And instead, what happened and what transpired was that I was able to come here thinking I was just going to take a job to get a visa to travel, because there's no travel visas at the time, especially for females.
Yeah, of course.
And ended up staying till now.
Honestly, it's amazing. And there's a question I literally thought of just now, because I think it might be different for an American, or, well, you're not American, but living in America, right? How was that, living in America and converted to Islam? How was it there? Was it very different then?
Sure, definitely. I think, it has still been, quite, I wouldn't say necessarily taboo, but, especially where I was living in Ohio, there was not very much diversity in the specific suburb I'm from. But when I moved to Los Angeles, it was a lot easier to, get around and to get to know new people. But of course, you lose friends, you lose your sense of community, but you find new sense of community and new friendships.
And I can imagine, like, just for me, and like one of my best friends, and I've known her since I was like 13, she's Muslim. So I've known, well, I was pretty naive and was pretty stupid, but I knew about Islam a little bit when I was younger. And I can imagine it being a bit difficult back then, like with regards to Ramadan and fasting. And is it a lot harder there compared to here with regards to, say, practicing?
Sure. I mean, I think because I didn't have as much of a community before I moved to Los Angeles to be with the Saudi girls, then yeah, definitely. It was a huge cultural shock. And even like to tell my family, like, I'm cooking eggs for my grandma, and then like, oh, but I can't eat these for like 15 hours. So it was quite a difference then. But I think that as time has progressed, there's more diversity in different pockets of the States than ever before. Now, when I go home to the same city, there's a Palestinian restaurant. So I'm like, see guys,
it's growing, it's massive.
Halal food.
That's true. And I think with social media, the world is being more aware of these things. Absolutely. For sure. And even social media being aware of what's happening here. And so you moved here 10 years ago, and for many women back then, 10 years ago, very taboo, very dangerous, which it isn't, but that's what people perceived it as. Even my friends thought it was dangerous for me. Why? Yeah. Like, why would you do it then if it's so, quote, dangerous compared to what the media would say?
I mean, I didn't expect to actually stay. I thought that I was going to just take the jog, stay for maybe 2 weeks, and then head back to the States and live my life and come visit whenever I could. But instead, I fell in love with not only the culture, but the generosity of the people, the depths of, the talent that's here, the opportunities that are here. They weren't as prevalent in 2015 that they were, after the Vision 2030 was announced. But for me, I still saw potential, and I always tell people, like, the moment that I touched down here, it was the first time in my whole life I felt this sense of home. And it's strange because to not be from somewhere and to still feel that sense, unique, I would say.
No, I feel you, because when I'm here, like, it feels more home than home. I've been here 9 years. Like, my fiance, she's Saudi, and there's a part of the culture that feels more normal.
Yes.
And me, I'm English, and there's a lot of things that we do naturally in terms of our culture, which kind of feels a bit weird compared to here. Like here, like how often people see family, how connected they are to family is way bigger, right? And you feel more connected to that. And, you know, you are incredible, doing amazing things, not only with communities, not only in your work, but not only, you're quite modest as well. And that's why I thought you were Saudi, because you have both. I thought you were I'm going to say a typical Saudi that goes and travels abroad to study, comes back, and they've got that balance. That's what I thought. No, but it's the opposite.
Yeah, it's funny because I was actually one time in the States and I got into a car accident and my friend was Saudi, was there with her friends that didn't know me before. And I said, oh, I just got in a small car accident this morning, but it's all good. And they said, oh, were you driving on your Saudi license or your American license? And I was like, oh, my American license, I'm American. And they were like, oh, I'm American. I was like, no, but I'm actually, like, my parents are also American. Like, I have no Arab roots.
Yeah.
So it's funny.
But it's true, because some people, just because some people here will have the American passport. Yeah. So that's what they were thinking, right? That's so funny. And how do you actually, like, get that balance for you, right? Like, of pursuing a career, being a leader / not influencer, but having influence on people, and then being modest. Like, how do you do it?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just like comes naturally. So this is my most authentic self. I don't try to be anything that I'm not, or I don't try to hide any negative parts about myself. I'm the first person to be like, oh, I'm bad at this, I'm good at this. Yeah, it's totally fine for me. And I think that in doing that, you're able to grow, and people see that you're a real person. You're not trying to be something you're not on social media or in the real world.
Oh, of course. And one of the biggest reasons why I brought you on to the podcast is because, well, one, this is a great story that I didn't know. But the main reason was because we met last Ramadan for like an iftar. And I thought you were working for this company and trying to build a community here full of expats and trying to get people together. But that's not the case. You don't work. This is just a selfish thing to meet more people, which I love.
Exactly. It's a personal initiative to bring people together from really all over the world here in Saudi, because I think, you know, we're all blessed to be working in a place where opportunity and making an impact is so prevalent. And so I think a lot of people with the same, you know, like-mindedness, I always say that I'm too halal for the haram people and too haram for the halal people. So people who are right in this like niche of, you know, wanting to get to know people, but also wanting to do it in like a family-friendly way. This is, you know, something that's really important to me.
Of course.
I do iftars. I do about 4 every year. And I started that initiative 5 years ago. First, it was like 10 people, then 20 people, and then 200 people.
Yeah.
And I know I think the group that I've put together is up to like 350. So it's crazy how many people grow, and it's just really a space issue more than anything.
Yeah, that's true. 350 people in any room is a bit much.
It's a bit much. But then I also do quarterly events to try to build people's like skill set, especially their executive skill set. So we're doing one on public speaking, which I definitely need because I'm not an expert in that whatsoever. And trying to find other like gaps in growing talent in the kingdom.
That's amazing. And for anyone that may want to join or may be involved, how can they go about it?
Yeah, we have an Instagram. It's the Riyadh Diwan. And I think if you just send me a DM, I check it like once every week. I'm not good at social media. You know that.
I've realized. Messaging you is not fun. I'm joking. It's okay.
I'm very responsive on WhatsApp. But yeah, I think that if they just reach out, I'm happy to put them in touch and see if they can join.
No, I love that. And I think for anyone out there that wants to connect with new people, meet new people, or just wants to go socialize in a very, I'm going to say like a modest, comfortable setting. It's not like all these events where you're going to party and things like that. Like, no, that's not for me. It's not really my thing. I can only do it every now and then, all honesty. So I prefer these types of settings that you're connecting with people, having food, coffee, enjoying it. It's much better. So definitely check that out. Definitely do it.
I would love to have you.
And for you, the way you hold yourself, and this is what I want to talk about a lot, because the way you hold yourself as a woman, like being a leader, showing initiative in this community, right? Like, why and how can other women do this? Because I feel like now with Saudi changing and women increasing in the workplace and having more leadership roles and being athletes, how can they really keep this
Sure. I mean, I think that you just have to be true to yourself. If you feel that, you're one of the things that you're proud of in yourself is that you're a female leader in work, then, go with that. Push that, have that not only be your personal branding, but also like who you truly are deep down. The same thing, like most people are passionate about multiple things, not just one thing. I happen to be very passionate about my work, but I'm also passionate about this community sense, and I'm passionate about my friends and my family and a lot of different elements. So I think putting it all together is the cool thing about women, because I think we can multitask where it's a little harder for you. But I think that it's also a way to be authentic and still be this person you're inside.
That's true. And look, I am a very typical man. I am hyper-focused. And then that's it. I'm done. Like, I can't switch it. But
it's very normal.
It's very normal. It's okay. And what is the goal of the community? Like, keeping it growing? Like, you can't do 500, 1,000. So what's the plan there for you?
I ask myself the same thing every day. I think I'm really trying to grow it in terms of quality over quantity. I want to make sure that everybody's getting something out of it. So everybody's involved in a million different WhatsApp groups, but there's like legitimate questions that people have. And, when you're moving to somewhere new, like the kingdom, and you have questions about how to fit in, I always recommend people to join, because even like yesterday, there was a construction outside my house at 2:00 in the morning. And I texted on the group, like, how do I report this? And like 10 people supported me immediately. So I love that it's like the sense of support, the sense of community. Doesn't need to be 1,000 people. It doesn't need to be more than it is now, but it should be good quality people who are interested in not just getting something out of it, but also giving back.
And I think that's the difference between what I see on social media when you have people that maybe doing a podcast, I'm not digging at myself, but doing a podcast or doing something and say that they're there for expats, but not just doing it for media. Right. Whereas you're doing it the opposite way around. And you're like, I don't care about the media or social media. I care about actually helping the people that want to help each other.
Exactly.
And why don't you post on social media? Not you personally, but the community stuff, like, a lot, and try and help that grow. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I think because we grew so fast, just organically, without needing that. I did the Instagram just as like an afterthought. And I originally had like a plan to do like features of the individuals that were there. And I realized like people don't really care about that. They just literally want to get together with good people, praise the people that are in the group. So I don't want it to be like oh, look at how amazing I am for every single birthday, especially not to myself. And I don't let people like propose like, oh, look at what I did. Look at how fancy I am. It has to be like something that's actually giving back to the community. And I think that's the only way to keep it valuable, in my opinion.
No, I love that, because so many people want to brag and so many people want to be recognized about what they've done.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that's a natural thing. Some people want it more than others, but it's a natural thing. Whereas you're like, as long as if the people are happy and the people are good, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't need attention, I need respect.
Ooh, I love that.
A deep one, you can write it.
Yeah, I love that. Put that down. And I think that's how you can, and that's probably why you've done well career-wise in general, and getting that balance of everything, because, like you said, demand respect, don't demand recognition, and try and just be humble, right? I love that. Honestly, that type of balance of many people can learn from. And
I hope so.
Well, yeah, no, for sure. And many women out there right now, I think, are putting themselves out there in terms of building communities, athletes, social media. But when you say being true to yourself, right, I think some women and men can lose that as popularity goes on.
Absolutely.
So is there anything that you do to try and stay as humble as you are?
No, I mean, I don't think that I'm that humble.
No, I think you are. That's my opinion, but I'm going to say it.
No, but I think that, again, I always look at the value creation out of everything that I do. So I'm not just looking at what I get out of it, but what value I'm creating for more people. Because I think that's really your legacy. I can be more famous on social media. Maybe I can have more followers on LinkedIn or whatever. But most important to me is that whatever I'm sharing has a value for the person reading it. So they're learning something new. They're getting something out of it. When I was talking to you previously about kind of how women in leadership have grown in the kingdom, I was mentioning like 17% when I first came in 2015, there was 17% of women in the workforce, and now it's 36%. So I'm not telling you that because I want to be like, look at how amazing I was when I came before everybody knew. But no, look at how much we've grown. Look at that value that has been created by women being in the workforce.
Honestly, it's amazing. And I completely agree. And obviously with the laws changing, the life changing here, like we've seen it as expats as time goes on. But one thing that I think can be hard to build is confidence. And So how do you as a leader, you as not an influencer, but having an influence on people and building this community, how can you keep your confidence high to lead people, manage people, and succeed in like the workplace or anything else?
I wish I could tell you I'm the worst person in that situation.
There's no way.
I swear, I don't have the confidence. And it's funny because at work, they tell me all the time, like, stop telling people you're not an expert at that. And I'm like, because if I'm not an expert, I'm the first person to be like, I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think that, in a lot of saving face cultures, you just go with it, the narrative as if you are an expert. But I don't have that in me. So I'm looking to build my own confidence right along everybody else.
Okay, outside of work, all right? I'm going to get...
Even in public in every way. I just strive to be myself. And if people like it, great. If they don't, I'll be sad about it, but I'll get over it.
And you've always been like that in terms of, I don't care?
Yeah, I mean, I cared a lot more, I think, when I was growing up in a small town, because, like, the 12 people that you know are like the 12 people that you know. So if you have a fight with like 11, you're like really screwed. But I think that now that I live in a global society, I'm not so, afraid of what people think about me yet. The one thing that I care a lot about, though, is that, again, as I mentioned, not saying I know something that I don't know, because I've met a lot of influencers that when you meet them in real life, first of all, they look nothing like what you thought that they looked like. And second of all, they don't have any information about their subject matter expertise. So that's my thing I'm afraid of.
Okay, so
my fear, I would.
Without saying people, could I get an example?
Sure. So there's one particular person that I met that claimed to be an expert in women leadership, and have a successful career, et cetera, et cetera. And when I got to actually meet her in real life, first of all, I couldn't pick her out of the crowd because I couldn't tell that was the same person. But further than that, like, she didn't have any understanding of the topics that she talked about, including when I quoted a post that she wrote. So I never want, again, I'm not saying this because I'm talking bad about anybody or saying that anything's wrong, but I just, again, that authenticity, at least if you wrote it with ChatGPT, read it. Like,
true.
Read it, memorize it, digest it a little bit. But I would say my confidence comes out of my fear of being that person. So I don't ever want to be perceived as something I'm not. And I don't want to be perceived as something better than I am.
Look, I love that. And I'm going to call myself out on one thing is all of my Instagram captions, I say to ChatGPT what my video is about. And I say, can you make this into the best caption? Just but because my... Yeah, no. Well, yeah.
You're an expert in that.
Yeah, so like in that subject, I'm like, this is what the video says. This is what I say. Can you just make it look and sound better? Because the way I write is terrible, right? So guilty on that. But that being said, like, I feel like that's so true. And that's kind of why I find it tough to not curse on social media, because that's who I am. Right. Even if I'm saying like, you're effing awesome or something like that, it's positive, but it's who I am. And obviously here, like, people may see it as offensive, and that's fine. So I try and get that balance. But I think it is hard to be authentic as well as trying to connect and build awareness and grow, right?
But why tone it down if you feel that that's your authentic self and that's how you authentically communicate? The only, negative for that is in social media, you get demonetized or whatever. But.
Well, not that. I don't want to offend people that are related to me or will be related to me. Okay, does that make sense? So I don't want that. People that are close to me, I don't want to offend. And it's just being that. But you can still be yourself, 100%. And I think that's the hardest thing is that I try and be myself. And I hope that I'm very similar to what I am online personality-wise. I think I'm actually more energy in real life than the social media, but that's just what I think. But I do agree with you is that sometimes, especially how you look, editing is so good these days that, and I'm so glad, by the way, that you're not like that at all, and I love that. I always get worried.
I'm happy to edit myself if you need. Feel free to.
No, it's so
the double chin.
No, you don't. You look great. And even like before, when you said, when we said we were both in Turkey, and I had my nose, I'm like, there was nothing wrong with your nose, nothing wrong with it. That you look the same to me.
But everybody has their thing. I think that there is self-conscious about. But and again, like I wouldn't never be like I never did anything. I'm 100%. Natural, no makeup. No, I do that, but I'm at least admitting to it.
Right.
I had to hide it.
I agree, and that's why I've been so open about my hair, because many guys are insecure about it. They try and hide it like I did, and I'm like, go
and look at the results. Look at last hair, and you have full head of hair. I'm jealous.
This is a clear. Thank you very much. But it's true. Like if you're insecure about it, go, and it's fine. It sounds weird for a guy to have cosmetic surgery, but
Really?
it's definitely worth it. I don't care.
And if it boosts your confidence,
Definitely.
I should do it myself.
Yeah, like I don't wake up in the morning and have to worry about it. Like it's good, right? So I'm so glad that you are authentic to yourself and it shows that. And what I do love is that you are someone that kind of knows what they want in life.
Absolutely.
So what are your goals this year?
Sure. So this year, definitely want to focus on continuing to build my career. I was just, had joined a new organization and it's very much in its growth phase. So full focus on that. Focus also on just being, I always say I'm being the best Hananemic I can be. So that's emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, however I can be the best Hananemic. That's 100% what I'm working towards this year and every year.
No, I love that. And you're continuing to be better outside of work. What else is there?
Sure. So definitely have, goals I lost quite a lot of weight and then again, because I was working. So I have some weight loss goals as well. Happy to talk to you more about that in a bit. And, a lot of it is just like being mentally healthy and feeling at peace with myself, continuing to grow my confidence, growing as a public speaker is another one of my goals.
I love that.
So I have a lot of, little mini personal goals that I just want to take mini steps towards, but excited for it.
And I'm going to steal this question that I saw on another podcast because I think reflection is so good. And if you had to look back and at yourself when you first came to Saudi, right? What advice would you give yourself back then?
I would say that you have no idea what is going to happen. You have no idea what is coming for you and just stick with it. Like when I first came, I thought that there were the goals that I've achieved thus far were impossibilities. To be able to drive, to be able to work and grow in my career, to be able to have these close friends, to socialize in a mixed environment. Again, it was something I didn't think that would be possible. And now it's not only possible, but to be in kind of the leading edge of it is really exciting.
Honestly, I love that. I love that so much. And the way we end any podcast is with quick fire questions.
Okay.
Never normally is. But we can try our best.
Okay.
So question one is, what is one habit that changed your life?
Journaling.
Oh, do you journal every day?
Every day.
And what is that about? Is that about goals? Is it about gratitude? What is that?
Mostly just about like a reflection of what my day was like. And then I also forced myself to say 3 things I'm thankful for and 3 things I'm looking forward to.
And did it make you feel differently?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It also makes me, when you look back on them, you're like, I was so upset that day and it was so stupid.
No, it's true. I think it allows you to let go of the problems, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it so much. And what is one hack? It's going to be hard because you didn't give this to us earlier. One hack women can do to build confidence in themselves that you have done, but you've got to be honest here because you're too humble. What is one thing they can do to build confidence?
I will say, I think that... So I listened to Mel Robbins' podcast and I read, some of her old books and stuff. And so what I do every morning is, she said this in a TED Talk like years and years and years ago, waking up and knowing the chances of you being alive are so damn slim that you have no choice but to be the best version of yourself. And that for me gives me confidence. There's only one life we get to live. The chances of us being here are literally a miracle. Everybody here is a miracle. So knowing that about yourself gives you confidence.
I love that. Her book, The 5-Second Rule, was great. And I would take that into account any time, is that whenever you don't want to do anything, count down from 5 and just do it. And that's going to really push you just to be like, it's okay, just take that action.
She has another one, a small tip quickly, that when she says, when you see yourself in a mirror, to give yourself a high 5. And that also makes you realize like, hey, we're on the same team. Because sometimes you look at yourself externally and sometimes you look at yourself internally, and that brings them both together.
There was also a hack with regards to like trying to manifest your life. And so when we brush our teeth every morning, I'd suggest anyone doing this if you really want to manifest your goals in this year, when you're brushing your teeth, use your other hand and look at yourself in the mirror and truly think about your goals for the year, truly think about what you want to achieve and what it looks like, what it feels like, and spend that whole 2 minutes or more brushing your teeth and think about that. Your subconscious brain turns on because you're using your other hand, because you're doing a habit you normally do, and then it will slowly transform into that, and it will boost your energy for the day. That'll be really good.
Pilot.
Yeah, I love it. What is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
That everything happens for a reason and that life is not fair. So when I was growing up, my mother used to always tell me, the life is not fair, life is not fair, life is not fair. Because, there's small things that you're like, I want to be like this, I want to be like this. And it's true, life isn't fair, but it's better than you would ever expect. And those things that aren't fair end up being strategic advantages for you in the future.
Honestly, I love that. And what is one quote you live by?
All that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel Lade. Which is from Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. I'm very bad with quotes, so I don't even know. And what is one takeaway that people can take from this podcast? If they could just take away this one thing you're about to say, what would it be?
Be your damn self. Just be yourself.